On this episode of Setter Tales, we take to the skies as we cross the Atlantic in search of Irish snipe, pheasants, and friends. We're hunting in Ireland this time, and boy, you're gonna love it. I'm Wade Kisner, and I grew up hunting upland birds. Nothing's better than chasing a couple English setters called Sweet Lou and Adeline. Lou is a master hunter, and Adeline is quickly learning the trade. These are some of our tales. One of several rewards from our video series, Sweet Point Setter Tales, has been connecting with so many people that love gun dogs and the pursuit of upland birds. A larger number than I expected prefer English setters as a hunting companion over other breeds and can be found all over the United States as well as many other countries. In early 2018, I noticed social media posts by Michael Rochford of Dundalk, Ireland. He was also the author of a blog, Game, Set, and Match, which chronicles the training and trialing of English setters in Ireland. I was captured by his descriptions of the Irish countryside, the field trials and trainers that devote themselves to this sport. After a few telephone calls and emails, I agreed to provide a guest article for Michael's blog, and that started discussions about a possible pheasant hunt in Ireland. I couldn't pass up the chance to capture the Irish hunt on film for our video series. The next thing you know, my wife Patty and I are headed to the Emerald Isle for a pheasant and snipe hunt. While researching the hunt, I learned that the gun laws in Ireland are a little more restrictive than they are here in the States. I would be prohibited from buying a shotgun or having one loaned to me while in country. This meant I'd be required to bring my own shotgun, meaning that I'd have to work with the Irish government and the airlines in order to ensure we followed proper procedures so we wouldn't be denied entry into the country. Michael, as it turns out, is also a police officer in Dundalk. He assured me that with the proper permits and paperwork, it would go smoothly. We were both about to be surprised. With some planning and a stack of paperwork, it was time to begin our journey. It was a long flight. We connected to Aer Lingus in Chicago and then arrived in Ireland 7 hours later. As we made our way to the baggage claim area, we were pleased to see both our check bags on the carousel. Unfortunately, the black, hard gun case was nowhere to be found. After nearly 2 hours at customer service, I was told that my gun had never made it onto our connecting flight. The airline informed us that we'd get the gun as soon as they could figure out where it ended up. All we could do was wait. With nothing left to do, we arrived at our hotel and met with our friends Dave and Debbie Dorson. Dorson's company, Kinetic Dog Food, has a business relationship in Ireland. When he learned that we were going there on a pheasant hunt, he and his wife were all in and jumped at the opportunity to join us. We made sure to take a bit of time to enjoy the finer things. While I couldn't stop worrying about whether my gun would ever make it to me, and if I'd actually get to hunt on this trip, we were in Ireland. Beautiful Dublin, Ireland. With that, a chance to take in all the city's beauty and history soon distracted my worries. What a wonderful place. On Sunday morning, it was time to see what Irish bird hunting was all about. We met up with Dave Dorson and went over the plan for the day. This morning we're headed to Athlone, and we're going to meet with 5 or 6 of the top English setter breeders and field trialers in Ireland, and a lot of them have come from southwest part of Ireland to meet with us, and they're going to bring some of their dogs, and we're going to see a dog demonstration and basically just chat with them and talk to them about their training techniques. With crew and family loaded into the 9-passenger Renault van, we headed out for our first adventure on the M4 motorway. It was only a few hours to Athlone, but on this island we had already gone from the East Coast straight to the heartland of the country. We met up with Michael Rochford and other members of the English Setter Club of Ireland in the town of Athlone. We created a plan for how the day on the bog would go. We learned how friendly the locals were. They also gave us a rundown on the terrain we were about to step foot on.
Wow.
That's him in the bog where we're going.
Holy cow.
So you want to be careful.
See?
Oh my God.
Now, do you see this here?
Yeah.
This is what I'm telling you. If you're walking now, especially with that, because that's expensive for the camera, and you see the ground,
depression kind of
no,
there?
you have to watch the ground. If the ground is wet and that, be careful because you will actually go to there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now I told him not to pull him out. I got the photographs.
Yeah, oh yeah, what a friend. What a friend, right?
Yeah, what a friend.
Well, we always say.
I'm going to go for coffee. I'll be back later.
Sometimes when it's one of the guys, he does that. You know, we said to him, why don't you put your foot on his head and shove him down?
From Athlone, we headed to the bog fields just outside the town of Moate. In minutes, we went from pavement to mud.
This is going to be exciting. We're going to be watching these guys work dogs today, and first time in Ireland, so this should be a lot of fun. We're not doing any shooting, which is a good thing, because then I don't have to worry about missing. But so no guns. We're just running dogs, going on point with snipe.
No, look, we have the advantage in Ireland is that we have a massive number of snipe would always migrate to here. So I'd be very surprised if we don't see quite a number of snipe. And they're fantastic birds. They're a small bird. They make a little noise when they get up to fly. But they have a good scent for pointing and setting dogs. So they're ideal for trials. And for training the likes of pointers and setters on. So you just need to get in your head the flight pattern of these birds.
Okay, so
Watch the way they get up.
right or left, right?
The zigzag.
Sit down. No, sit.
What are their names? Jata and Avita, two English setters. Nice. I bred those two myself, and she's 6-year-old, and she's an Irish field trial champion, and she's a snipe champion, and she's an international champion because she has won 2 international trials. And this one is 2 years old, and she's only a pup, so she's a novice. She's just learning, hopefully.
We're going to run the setters and pointers on some bogland and hopefully get some finds on some snipe, which is a migratory bird. We also have domesticated here as well, but they're predominantly, we hunt over them, but in this case it's used for trials, so these are trialing dogs that we'll be seeing. So
Okay.
Now he has a lot more black.
He is very black, even for what we have normally.
No?
Well, we compete against each other all the time.
Oh, you compete against each other.
We're friends at about 10 o'clock at night.
After the tempers go
Yeah, I'm into it, man.
Finally in the field, it was strikingly apparent how different this terrain was from anything we'd ever seen in the States. Like trudging through a mud sponge formed from thousands of years of decaying organic matter, the bogs gave us quite the workout. Each step we took sunk in, created a suction cup that resisted our movement forward.
We're going to start with running these two dogs. This is Billy Grace and I'm Kieran Walsh. This dog is Blackmore Tyrrell is his name, English setter dog. And Billy's is, I'll let you speak, Billy.
This is Caparoo Jata. She's a field trial champion, she's a snipe champion and an international champion. And Kieran's is a young dog, just 2-year-old, a remarkable future ahead of him. So we're just going to run as if we're in a field trial competition. Sit. Sit.
Hi, Billy.
Sit.
Boy, these dogs could move. The dogs are released in a 2-dog brace and run at top speed searching for a scent of an elusive snipe. Once on point, the handler approaches and with a whistle or snap of the fingers commands the dog to flush the snipe. The field trials are based on snipe located, flushed, and handling style. Snipe are hunted with a gun for sport, but their speed and unpredictable flight patterns on the flush challenges even the best shooters. We plan to take our crack at snipe in a few days. With each pass, these animals showed remarkable speed and discipline. It was clear that with traveling on the bogs, these canines had the clear speed advantage. Up next was Pat and Christy's dogs.
Ever since today, what we're doing is showing you the dogs when the wind is coming into our face now. So ideally, we've 2 dogs running, 2 people judging, and 2 handlers. The dogs must cast left and right, and when they go to the end of their cast, whether it be 100 metres, 200 metres or 300 or 400 metres, when the judge tells you to turn the dog, the dog must turn, and ideally he turns out to the wind to prove that he's hunting. And what you're looking for is pace, style and typical of the breed.
Yeah, good ground coverage.
Good ground coverage, nice gait, and when the way they approach the game. And basically what you're looking for is an all-round trained dog.
Yeah.
Nothing less.
And I'll run whichever one they want, and whoever likes next, whoever wants to run doesn't mind. Yeah, Michael. This is Blackstairs Frank. He's a son of Tacoma Mountain Patriot. He's a champion, and he's 10.5-year-old. He has shot grouse, snipe and woodcock, pheasant. An all-around excellent dog on game.
My name is Pat Dooley. My kennel prefix is Wildfield. I keep predominantly pointers. This is a 5-year-old field trial champion, Regmore Scirocco. His sire was an Italian dog, Lucania Charo, and his dam was half Scottish, half continental, Regmore Celtic Rose, and he's an all-round good dog as well on boards. He's generally, when he listens, he's quite a good dog, that's being honest.
This lad can have a mind of his own now. He's 10.5, so I let him have a rein and do what he like. The best of luck, even to your enemy.
Get out, get out, get out.
You can see now where the American dog influence is here. I would like him to do better than that now. He should go out straight to pop the bird if the bird is there. But the snipe could have left. Sit, so sit. Have shot a lot of snipe and pheasants over this dog, so he's gone a bit, he's not as tight as he was for trials. For trials we keep him very tight. You see, this is what they should do, turn into the wind. I have judged him many times, an excellent dog on pheasant and snipe and grouse. He's a champion on pheasant and grouse, and this dog, the white English setter, he is 10.5-year-old. You see the way we let him range. We let him run that naturally that width on the mountain. So sadly there is not an abundance of snipe. We were here a month ago at a trial and we had maybe 120 snipe on this bog. The snipe move with the weather conditions. If it is real frosty, they move to different ground because this gets very hard for worms and all, for the food.
As Christy explained, this day, due to the weather, wasn't exactly a potluck of action. Despite the lack of points, we still had a great experience, and it was time to head back to Dublin. After today, however, I couldn't wait to get out there and start hunting over these fine dogs. Suddenly, I remembered that if my gun didn't make it to Ireland, I wouldn't get to hunt at all. Very next day, a bit of Irish luck smiled on me as I learned my shotgun had been located and arrived at the Dublin airport. On the phone quite a bit, trying to track the gun. It apparently went to Denver, went back to Cedar Rapids, and then finally arrived this morning. All right, we just picked the gun up at the Dublin airport, and we're going to open it up and see if the girl is in here or not. The locks definitely have been taken off. Somebody's opened it up to look at it somewhere in transit. I could tell the way the locks had been put back on it, but not the way I had them. So here we go. We'll see if she's in there. Looks like it. Looks like she's there. Everything looks to be in order. Awesome. Okay. As we headed into the rapeseed fields, it seemed that harvesting a pheasant was going to be just a small part of this whole experience. We had already met some fine dogmen on the bog and witnessed very skilled English setters and pointers at top speed in a centuries-old sport of snipe hunting. The Benelli Legacy shotgun would soon help me make the next memory on this trip of a lifetime. Pheasant hunting in Ireland over some very special English setters with some very special new Irish friends.
Sweet Point Setter Tales is brought to you with support from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Wade Kisner with Sweet Point Setter Tales. Do you have an interesting story idea for a future episode? We'd love to hear about it. Drop us a line at sweetpointsetters.com.